Hello Rebel and welcome back to my life. It's a book release day! Today is the official release of the Academy Journals Volume 1, which you should be seeing the gorgeous cover of right over there. Now would normally be the moment where I would show you the physical book in my hands. Unfortunately, there was a small shipping delay because we've been having quite some weather in Oregon recently. The book should be arriving by the end of today or possibly early tomorrow, which is, I'm sure you can imagine, a little bit annoying. But for a frame of reference, we are talking one of the volumes, the gigantic fantasy tome, huge 800, 900 page books, like this one. Not only does it contain the first 3 books of the Academy Journal series of Underrealm, which tells the story of Eben, the young child of a merchant family who is allowed to attend the Academy for Wizards and learn how to become an alchemist, but it also contains more than 50 pages of background material about Underrealm, the history, how magic works, all that sort of stuff. The Academy Journals is kind of a special series to me for a couple of different reasons. It deals mainly with magic, which, I mean, fantasy, magic, they kind of go hand in hand. But also the Academy Journals were written after I had already written 4 Underrealm books in the Nightblade epic, and so I was able to do a lot of things better than I had done in those books. For example, the Academy Journals has the first explicitly gay relationship in the book on the page from like the first couple of chapters. Because I was a little bit tired of people reading the first few books of Nightblade where there is no explicit romance subplot and not really getting the fact that yes, gay people exist in Underrealm and that is just a thing. The Academy Journals also features the first major trans character in Underrealm. There was a trans character in the Nightblade epic, but they were very small, played a very sort of minor role in the overall story, and I feel that it is relatively important to note that Eben, the main character, as well as his love interest and his entire family are not white people, like are the stars of so many fantasy series, including my first one, I have to admit. They are what we would call Saudi Arabian, which I only put in quotes because Saudi Arabia does not exist in Underrealm, of course. Now, as with all of my Underrealm books, the story is not about these people's relationships or their ethnic or sexual or gender identities. It is about adventures, magic, spellcasting, intrigue, and all that sort of thing. I am simply trying to create a world in which people who are not straight white men with beards can have adventures like we have been reading about in fantasy since it existed. Speaking of the addenda that are available in the volume, they also explain how trans people transition in Underrealm, which is something I'm very excited for people to read. I spent a lot of time crafting that and also working with and consulting with actual trans friends and trans people online who, you know, speak about this sort of thing to create something that was representative of that experience, but also didn't bring in a lot of the bigotry and the fear that surround it in the real world. Again, trans people exist in Underrealm, just as they have always existed in our world, and it's not a big deal. Anyway, for these and a variety of other reasons, I'm very excited for people to check this book out. I think people are going to enjoy it. If you haven't read the series yet already, it is definitely the best way to start. As always, there are links in the description where you can go and pick it up. You can buy it on Kindle or in hardcover. If you buy a hardcover direct from my website, it will be signed and shipped to you as soon as it is shipped to me. That's all I've got for you today, Rebel. Check out my last video on the channel right up there, or check out my Patreon right over there. $5 patrons, by the way, get free ebook copies of every book I release, including this one, so maybe inspect that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!